I was naked on my doctor's office table getting my yearly skin cancer check. And I got a call from my agent. I'm so excited that we're having this kind of global universe and that there'll be cross communication of cultures. Priyanka is an incredible colleague, both personally and professionally. I mean, she's so fun to be around. She is deeply prepared. Like, she comes to set very prepared. She can be doing like a high stakes scene and then just be laughing the next second. I actually learned a lot about India from her book. I've always wanted to go to India since I was a little girl. I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia, and there was amongst expats, but also amongst the Arabic community, and the multiculturalism there, the cultural mixing pot, as they say, was very colorful. I was gobsmacked. I just couldn't believe that I was offered the role.
Hello, I am good. I am Boni from midday.com. This is a publication in India. I hope you're doing well.
Likewise, hi Bernie. It's lovely to meet you.
I've been watching Citadel, and it's lovely watching you and the other cast members on the series. Totally enjoying it. Tell me, how did you come about to be a part of this global franchise?
Very unexpectedly, I was naked on my doctor's office table getting my yearly skin cancer check. And I got a call from my agents, and I was like, I can't really talk right now. And they said, we really need to talk right now. And they had the offer for Citadel. And I had originally auditioned for the Russo brothers maybe a year prior, but, scheduling conflicts and everything. So that all went away, and I hadn't heard anything. And then I just got this offer out of the blue, and I thought it was a little consolation prize, like a little one-liner that I would do a little appearance, and I thought that was really sweet. And then I got the scripts, and I was blown away.
What does it mean to be part of this franchise and, work with the Russo brothers? They are globally famous. This amazing cast that you are working with. What does it mean? How significant is it for you?
It's deeply significant. I think sometimes I can't go there. Like, I can't think about the magnitude of that kind of thing. Perhaps because it distracts from just doing the work at hand. But on the other hand, I'm just so thrilled for the concept of the show. I'm so excited that we're having this kind of global universe and that there'll be this cross communication of cultures that are really speaking to each other in their authentic voices, with local language productions and local directors, local filmmakers. So that is just, I mean, it's such a thrill to be a part of. And I feel really humbled and touched to be even a small cog in this wheel, and to get to work with such brilliant filmmakers and learn from them. It's very humbling.
We, of course, in India are very excited about the show because we have one of our own, Priyanka Chopra, part of the show. And you have some scenes with her as well, as we see as the show progresses. What was it like working with her?
Priyanka is an incredible colleague, both personally and professionally. I mean, she's so fun to be around. She is deeply prepared. Like, she comes to set very prepared and knows her stuff. Like, she knows the backstory. She knows exactly where she is positioned. But you wouldn't know that, because she doesn't come to set really serious. Like, she comes with levity and humor and like a generosity of spirit, and she talks to the crew members, and she's it's an incredible balance that I think she's been able to find, and I'm sure it takes a lot of diligence and hard work, but she creates a beautiful environment. She has incredible spontaneity, an acuity unlike anyone else I've ever met, and the ability to move in and out of really versatile environments very quickly. So she can be doing like a high stakes scene and then just be laughing the next second off camera, So that's really special. That's a sign of a lot of talent.
Did you guys ever discuss India? Did she tell you anything about the country?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I actually learned a lot about India from her book, which I listened to the audiobook recently. I mean, I've always wanted to go to India since I was a little girl. I've been very cold to the country, and I haven't made it yet because I want to do like a big stint there, like a proper one, not just visit all the tourist attractions, Um, and but it was amazing to see how she's kept India within her soul as she's traversed throughout the world, what it's taught her, the customs, the sense of community and family, and yeah, really raising a human in a village. Her village was global, her aunts and uncles were in America, but she still had that sense of home inside of her despite all of her travels. And yeah, I've really loved learning about India in that sense. So very keen to go
Right.
there.
I hope you can make it soon. What's interesting is, Ashleigh, you're from Australia.
Yeah,
Richard is Scottish. Priyanka is Indian. Stanley Tucci has Italian descent. So it's a very mix of, cultures, people from so many countries. What do you think about that?
I love it. I mean, I think it's really reflective of the project. I think it's reflective of our world. And I think it's important that we have different voices collaborating on the one project. And I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia, and there was amongst expats, but also amongst the Arabic community, and the multiculturalism there, the cultural mixing pot, as they say, was very colorful, and it taught me a great deal about empathy, compassion, curiosity, and it gave me a sense of openness that I will always treasure. So I'm really excited that that's being represented in the actors, but also in the project as a whole with the local language productions
Right.
being a part of the Citadel universe.
Of course, the script in itself and the storyline is full of twists and turns, as we can see with your character also in episodes 3 and 4. What was your reaction when you kind of discovered that there's more to the character than meets the eye, and there are more layers that's going to be unraveled as the series moves on?
I was gobsmacked. I just couldn't believe that I was offered the role, honestly, because when the offer came through, it said Abby slash Brielle slash Celeste. And I thought, oh, they're letting me choose which one liner I can do. Like they're letting me choose maybe like the name of the character or which character I want to play. I was like, this is just so thoughtful and sweet. But then finding out that it was an entire human being fractured into these three pieces. I mean, it's an actor's dream. Ever since I was little, I'd, dreamt about roles like that in different forms. And so to be able to have that deep dive and that study of the human condition and of identity and of the masks that we adopt if you don't have like a very stable sense of self, how that can be so vastly different. I mean, that was both from like a nerdy perspective. I'm fascinated with psychology and all of those sorts of things and the science behind it. That got my kind of intellect whirring, but then also creatively to just really embody three different aspects of a person was so fun and informative for my own being. I think I learned to access parts of myself that I didn't realize I had either.
Was there a lot of prep and training that went into getting into the various personas that you play?
Yeah, so I did a lot of movement work with Lisa Robertson, Kennedy Brown, and I would, switch between the different roles, just walking around the house or spend an hour being one role or an hour being another role. There was a lot of kind of the cerebral deep dive into, how a person can, how they can have three different um, three different characters within themselves and three such different characters as well. And what is the true identity? Which ones are the defenses? Which ones are, people pleasing or antagonism or, what is it defending? And what is the vulnerability within that? So there was that aspect of it. And then there was also the stunt training and the physical preparation to be, a tier one agent and all the philosophies involved in the martial arts training too.
Right.
So that's cool.
Also, the script goes really, the storyline goes back and forth in time. It sometimes gets a little difficult for us to keep track. Did you kind of find it a little confusing when you're reading the script or when you're doing those scenes?
Yeah, definitely. It was because we shot completely out of order as well. So it's not, I think I shot scenes from episode 7 before I shot anything else. So I mean, sorry, episode 6, not episode 7. And yeah, it was a jigsaw. It was it was like completely mind-boggling. So I had these huge tables like plastered over the walls of my house with the chronology of everything that was happening, and you know, down to like what injuries they had, and what time of day it was or night, or how little sleep they'd had, or I talk about the character being 3 different roles within the one. But yeah, I think the cast and crew also, we all kept each other tethered in that sense, because we'd always just check in and be like, okay, this is just before a take or a scene. We'd be like, this is where we're at. This is the context. This is what's happened. We're all on the same page. Let's go.
Great, amazing. And all the result is there for us to see. Looking forward to the rest of the show as the episodes keep releasing. It's lovely watching you and lovely talking to you today. Thank you so much for your time, Ashleigh. All the
Thank you
best
for
for all
having
the
me.
work that you do.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.